Alright, so it's week 6, and I think this is a very fun game. I'm excited for this one. You can see my double Custat Berry, and I did actually have to go and look at the rule set to make sure that there was no item clause, because I actually have 2 Pokemon on my draft with Endeavor plus Endure, although I'm not running that set on both of them. Altaria is Dragon Dance plus with Citrus Berry just to kind of make sure I can last long enough, I guess. And Terrifier is, I guess, a decent offensive type, but mostly it's just to make sure I can pop the Scizor, because I hit everything else with Brave Bird and Earthquake. And then I've got Volcarona, which is Volcarona, and I have Choice Band Urshifu this time because the only things I'm not outspeeding here is Ogerpon and Moon, and I didn't think a Choice Scarf was really necessary for those specifically, because Moon could be booster speed anyways and outspeed me still. And then, of course, I've got the Goodra, which is a, not Iron Defense, Shelter or whatever set. So I think Goodra is a really good lead here, because it's kind of only threatened by, like, Scizor, Close Combat, and the, like, Roaring Moon Earthquake, I suppose. So I am going to lead the Goodra. And my opponent is going to lead the Scizor. Now, both of us here are kind of afraid of each other, because I could obviously have Flamethrower or something. He could obviously have the Close Combat, so we're going to end up double switching here, as he brings in the Slowking. This thing is a little bit of a problem. I've got the Donphan, I've got Dragon Dance Earthquake, and, you know, Choice Band Urshifu, so, like, I definitely can do damage to it, but I need to make sure that, it's not able to stick around too long and keep healing up. So I do knock off these leftovers, which is pretty free because I brought in the Donphan. And of course I have Sturdy and everything, and I've got a Custat Berry, of course. So he's going to Chilly Reception and switch out. Go to the Ogerpon, I believe. Now, obviously I'm threatened here, but you might recall I have a Custat Berry, and I also have Sturdy. And I am not going to make a bad play and Endure on the first turn, because I know I have Sturdy. And I'll just knock off since I don't actually have any other attacking moves besides Rapid Spin, I think. So at +2 he is going to bring me down to Sturdy, and I'll just go straight for an Endeavor on this turn, and I kind of ate him up a little bit. He does see the Custat Berry coming, it looks like. No quick attack or anything, so he does see it coming and switches out to the Scizor. Oops. And I went for Rapid Spin because I don't know, maybe knockoff was better. But I was thinking, well, if it's only got 1 HP left, I might as well get a speed boost, but it doesn't end up mattering. Here, he doesn't go for Bullet Punch for some reason. I was really expecting a Bullet Punch here, but I literally just get to Endeavor the Scizor, also back down to 1 HP before my Donphan dies. So that was kind of crazy. Donphan, I'm down 6 to 5, but 2 of his Pokemon are at 1 HP, so... and he's going to bring back in the Ogerpon, and I am going to bring in my other Custat Berry, and I'll Sticky Web on this turn because obviously he's not threatening a one-hit KO, so I can just Sticky Web basically for free. And I was kind of expecting to, like, die to Ivy Cudgel, so I do Endure here, but I guess... I don't know, maybe I'm bulkier than I thought, because it actually doesn't kill me, or it doesn't bring me to 1. But it could have crit or something, so it's probably the best play was to Endure anyways. And then he is no longer going to switch out, probably because he doesn't have something that really wants to switch in to, like, a boosted water type move or something. I went for Leech Life because I was like, I guess it's technically correct to get the 1 HP back, but anyways. So here comes the Belly Bolt. This thing is a problem because... So I do have Waterfall instead of Liquidation because of the Custat Berry. It was just kind of like a cheeky little idea I had. Maybe I could get like a free flinch or whatever. Belly Bolt is a huge fucking problem for me though, because I do have the Choice Band Urshifu, but I know that he's going to Terrastalize. I know that this thing is probably max defense because of the Urshifu. So I'm going to go to the Goodra, who can basically just sit here forever and shelter and never have to worry about anything. Unless you wanted to, like, burn me, or like an accuracy drop, I guess would be kind of problematic, but you're just not doing that much damage to me at +1, or he's at +2 because he goes for another Charge Beam. And I'm just gonna sit here and set up because I don't have a super amazing way to damage this Belly Bolt, like, at all. Especially if it goes for the Terra. And that's going to be Terra Water, probably for the Urshifu and the Volcarona specifically, and, you know, Donphan dies to Muddy Water and all that. He goes for the +2 Muddy Water with the Terra, and it does like 20% maybe, which is honestly more than I thought, I'll be honest. But I am leftovers, no accuracy drop, so I just get to Shelter again the third time, and I'm at +6 defense. So my body presses are doing a lot of damage. I didn't want to body press this turn because if I activate the ability, then it's doing a lot more damage. So I just wanted to be as healthy as possible when I maxed out my defense, and now I can just click body presses like nobody's business. It doesn't kill because it's Belly Bolt, I guess. I didn't know this thing was that fucking bulky, but thankfully the what's it called? Parabolic Charge does not kill me, and I barely survive, and now I can just finish this thing off. So I do think it was definitely the right play to go to Goodra, because I don't think anything else on my team could have broken through this thing, and Goodra barely did, so at the very least I would have been able to revenge. So Belly Bolt goes down, and he's going to bring in the Blastoise. So Blastoise does pop the White Herb early because I have my Sticky Webs. So that's kind of useful because if he goes for Shell Smash, he'll be at -1 defense. But he does outspeed me because of the White Herb, and he can go for the Aura Sphere, which I guess I did know Blastoise got that, but I was sitting there playing the game thinking, this thing can't touch me. But he will obviously go for the Shell Smash this turn. Now, I didn't Terrastalize on this turn, thinking that he was going to Shell Smash and not Ice Beam, and that next turn he would Ice Beam, not reading the Terra because I wasn't afraid of Ice Beam last turn. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I didn't Terrastalize. I just go for the Brave Bird because he's at -1 defense, and it does do pretty decent damage. But I am going to Terrastalize into Fire this time, and he actually just read me to filth and went for the Hydro Pump. But he did miss. So I just get to Brave Bird that motherfucker. And the thing is, Surf would have been more than enough damage, so I guess that's the point of the extra base power. You're punished because it's stronger, and I think Surf would have probably been fine here, to be honest. But anyways, Slowking is going to come out here, and I feel pretty safe. I have a Citrus Berry. I am going to Dragon Dance. And he's going to tell a really bad joke, is what he's going to do. Now, I am Dragon Dance, but it's Roaring Moon in the back, and so that thing could be Booster Speed. I mean, well, no, it can't because of Sticky Web. That's another very interesting thing, is that with Sticky Web, it's impossible to be like Booster Speed to outspeed like a Choice Scarf user of mine, so I don't know, maybe that was worth it, but it doesn't really matter. Scizor's going to come in here after the Chilly Reception, and it's going to do basically nothing. It's just going to Bullet Punch me and not even pop my Citrus Berry, which I was kind of upset about. But I'll just fucking blow this thing up with a Flamethrower, which is way overkill. It's kind of crazy. I mean, even with the Terra Fire, it's this set is EV'd to one-hit KO guaranteed, like a max HP Scizor. It's not even that much damage, to be honest. So Slowking will come in here, and again, I feel pretty safe, so I'm just going to Dragon Dance. And unfortunately, though, he does have the Thunder Wave, which he didn't go for last time. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for it, but I suppose he didn't thought I didn't have Dragon Dance because I didn't go for it before, although I don't know why I would go for Dragon Dance against a Shell Smash Blastoise. That's just not a good plan. So here, I'm going to get paralyzed, count them, one time, and the Psyshock will activate my Citrus Berry finally. I'm going to get paralyzed 2 times, and be brought down to pretty low, actually. No, he didn't actually attack me again. He's going to Chilly Reception this turn. And you know, I think that Chilly Reception should not switch you out if it's already snowing. I feel like that's... Slowking having a switching move, first of all, is kind of broken, because it has Regenerator and all that. Okay, so this thing, sorry, I need to stay focused. This thing is coming in, and it gets the speed drop on the sticky webs, then the booster energy goes off, and we'll never know if it was booster speed or not, because the stat changes actually take into account, like the photosynthesis boost. Because we are +2 speed, and he is -1 speed, even though I'm paralyzed, I'm gonna outspeed it, and I'm gonna Brave Bird, and it literally just dies. So that was crazy. Altaria is literally the GOAT. I hate this Pokemon actually, but sometimes it can do things. So I'm going to switch out here because I'm going to use my Natural Cure ability for the first time ever. For once in my life, I wanted to use it. And I'll just switch to Urshifu, which I know can take at least one attack, just to get some damage. With a Choice Band, Surging Strikes, which does actually more than I was thinking it would. And so even though I am going to die to this Psyshock now, it's fine because I am Natural Cure Altaria, and I do have the Earthquake, and this thing is weak enough that Earthquake will take care of it. And Altaria is going to score 5 KOs in this game. I was doing up the results, the tallies, and I saw that it was 5, and I was like, this must be a mistake. There's no way. But yeah, Altaria snatch their fucking wig, I guess, and that's going to be the game. So stay tuned for the team preview. Alright, so first of all, good game to champion Braeden, as always. I actually had a lot of fun with this one, and I'm not gonna lie, it's almost entirely because I pulled off the Custap strategy twice, which I tried last week and it didn't work. So I was very, very excited about that. But let's see what kind of heat the Final Gambit Shedinja team is cooking up in the kitchen, because I'm not gonna lie, I think I kind of ate with this one.
Boots the house down, mama, yes, God.
So, Altaria, it is a Dragon Dance set, and the Brave Bird Earthquake coverage is generally pretty all-purpose, and so I brought Dragon Dance, Earthquake, and Brave Bird, because that hits pretty much everything on this team, but I also brought Terra Fire Flamethrower, with, of course, the Jolly Nature and 64 EVs in special attack, because that will guarantee a one-hit KO on a max HP Scizor. And yes, I do actually need to have investment for that. Well, I guess I'm Jolly, but I didn't want to like lower my defenses or anything, because Altaria is not as bulky as you would think. So we're Citrus Berry just to kind of make sure we will last long enough to get a Dragon Dance. And then the Terra Fire, not only does it help like offensively against the Scizor, but I saw that they have Bullet Punch, and they have Blaziken, and they have, I don't know, potentially Quick Attack on Sylveon. I suppose they could also have Aqua Jet on the Blastoise, which would be a problem, but... and then the Ogerpon is the Grass type one, so Fire seemed like a pretty decent defensive type, but it also just kind of patched up my matchup into Scizor. The Urshifu is a Choice Band set this week, and if you look at the draft of my opponent, it's relatively slow, right? They have Ogerpon and they have Roaring Moon, and then Blaziken can boost, and Blastoise can boost potentially, but everything else on this team is actually incredibly slow. The fastest one, I believe, is... I'm pretty sure it's the Sandaconda, or I guess Blastoise is 79 base speed. Anyways, so I'm actually able to run an Adamant Nature with the Choice Band, and I didn't even go for like Ice Spinner or anything, because Close Combat and Surging Strikes one-hit KOs pretty much everything except for like Belly Bolt and Slowking, so we're Choice Band, yeah. Araquanid is of course the Custap Berry set. I am pretty bulky, like physically defensive. That's for the Roaring Moon, that's for the Blaziken, because I mean we kind of wall Blaziken unless they're carrying Brave Bird. And it also helps against the Ogerpon, the Scizor, So we're physically defensive, but obviously at some point we just want to click Endure so that we can get off one last hit. I mentioned in the battle I have Waterfall, which I just thought was kind of funny because I'll have the Custat Berry and I might get a free flinch on something. And of course, Sticky Web. Sticky Web goes a long way here because of, as you saw in the battle, the Roaring Moon. That could have been booster speed, but because of the webs, it was not able to outspeed me. Also very good for Blaziken, preventing it from getting out of hand too quickly. And then also, just on everything else, it kind of just makes sure I can outspeed it with anything, pretty much. So Sticky Webs go a long way here. On the Gudra set, it is Leftovers. It's an incredibly bulky set. We do have a little bit of investment. I don't remember in the actual battle if I had Thunder or Thunderbolt, but that's basically just to hit Zapdos. No, not. That's to hit Blastoise, because I'm pretty sure even at +2, I could take an Aura Sphere from Blastoise. Although I am... What is that nature? Is it Lax? I don't know. Minus special defense nature because the defense seemed more important for the Pokemon that Gudra is supposed to take out specifically, which it's supposed to come in on like a Slowking or something and start setting up the shelters so I can Body Press and Heavy Slam the Sylveon, and I can Thunder the Blastoise and just Body Press everything else. So the Volcarona, you might notice, I'm not carrying a Fire-type move. And same as the Urshifu, I'm able to run a Modest Nature with EVs to outspeed Blastoise unboosted. And you'll notice I have no Fire-type move. The only thing I really would hit the Fire-type move, like would need that for, is Scizor. And I don't know, I was just kind of thinking, like, my matchup into Scizor is pretty fine already. Like, Urshifu can take on Scizor, Araquanid could probably take on Scizor, Donphan I think can, Altaria obviously can take on Scizor, so I wasn't super worried about that, and I also was kind of thinking, there's no way you stay in against Volcarona anyways, like you wouldn't even want to U-turn because you might get burned. So I'm not carrying a Fire-type move, I'm just carrying the coverage that I need to set up Sweep. And so, like, if I were to Quiver Dance, I don't imagine a world where you would bring in the Scizor first thing, right? So, that was just my thought process with that, I don't know. And then, of course, the Donphan, which is carrying Knockoff, Rapid Spin, Endure, and Endeavor, which, this is a little bit of a meme. I'm not gonna lie, I think Florges or Ogerpon would have been a really viable on my team this week, but I wanted to do the Custat meme, and that's the only justification I have. I think Arboliva has a lot of predators in this matchup. Like, Roaring Moon can Acrobatics or U-turn, Blaziken obviously, Slowking, the Ogerpon can U-turn, Scizor wants to U-turn, Blastoise is going to Ice Beam. I thought Arboliva just kind of had an uphill battle this week, and I haven't used Arboliva in this season, I don't think, which... it's kind of sad because I love Arboliva. And Florges definitely would have been viable as like, if I'm at like +1 special attack, I think a Psychic does decent damage to Slowking, maybe, I don't know. But also, it can do nothing against Scizor, it has to switch out, so, yeah, I don't know, that's the team. And it all ended up working out very well, and I got to use my Custat Berry degenerate strategies, but... yeah, good game, and I'm looking forward to week 7, because that was also a pretty interesting battle. So, I'll see you next week.